Welcome on in, guys. Tobin here with you. Thanks for checking out the channel. If you guys could subscribe here, that'd be cool. You guys get notifications every time we get a new video up there. And also, you guys can watch my radio show every single weekday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. with my guy, Leroy Horde. I put the link there, the on the 560 WQM YouTube page. We go live 10 a.m. every single day. We are there until 2. And you guys can interact with us live every single day in the chat. We have a lot of fun. It's a good time, people. So, big NFL news as we are awaiting Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Final. Trevor Lawrence gets his big-time contract from the Jacksonville Jaguars. We are awaiting all these deals as they are unfolding and coming through, and he gets a 5-year, $275 million contract extension, according to Adam Schefter. The deets on ESPN. Contract includes $200 million guaranteed, $142 million at signing. Adam Schefter says that he's getting a $37.5 million signing bonus, but this is the big number that everybody's been coming out with. That is the average annual value, $55 million for T-Law, which puts him at the top rank with Joe Burrow. And there you go. Trevor Lawrence gets paid. Not a lot of drama in Jacksonville over this. They have been very publicly open that they are trying to get a deal done, excited to get a deal done. There hasn't felt the animosity or the call-outs that has happened with the Dolphins negotiation with things. And I got to imagine Tua Tagovailoa looks at this and his famous words that came out, right? The market is the market. You know, that is what Tua famously put out there at minicamp, addressed his contract head on, and I would say probably the most, probably the most assertive we've heard Tua on just defending himself and putting it out there that he's not exactly happy with his organization. You know, maybe he's had some things about people saying things about his work ethic, like Ryan Clark or his deep ball or things like that. But I guess actively frustrated with where things are at with the organization and his level of confidence going into this. It was very interesting with hearing Tua go into that type of stuff. And I gotta imagine he is looking at this and how Trevor Lawrence and the Jags really didn't have any drama. It doesn't even get to his 5th-year option. Taken a year after Tua, but very similar in that these guys were both like stars from the get-go in college football. Like tank for Tua, tank for Trevor Lawrence, both looked at as these dudes are going to be can't-miss guys, and I really do not feel that Trevor Lawrence has faced nearly any of the criticism that Tua does. You know, I don't know if it has to do with the fact that he plays in Jacksonville, but he doesn't get a squeaker of the critiques that Tua does or the doubt that Tua does. And this is not a perfect player by any means. He looks the part, and I think that's part of it. Is like you look at him, and Tua is 6'1", he's lefty, is not your prototype quarterback necessarily, and Trevor Lawrence is because he's 6'6", he's right-handed. He's a strapping lad. He's got the blonde hair, and I honestly do feel like that plays into why he doesn't get nearly the doubt that Tua does. But Tua's put up better numbers than this guy. I mean, Tua to put this up into your space, right? Tua Tagovailoa, the only thing that really Trevor Lawrence has over him is a playoff win, and that was a very weird game where Justin Herbert and the Chargers blew a huge lead. So props for them for coming back. They end up losing to the Chiefs, as everybody does. And the thing with that year is, they were 9-8, so similar to the Dolphins the year prior, although Tua did suffer the concussion. But that was a really ass division. I mean, terrible. 7 wins was second place in that division. 2 teams with 7-game losing streaks. You have a Texans team that was tanking and has already really leapfrogged the Jaguars as everybody's favorite for the AFC South. And yet Trevor Lawrence has kind of just skated by and not really faced any drama or heat. Does have a propensity to turn over the football, will fumble the football a bunch, And so I just don't know how you're not to his representation. You're looking this over and you're like, well, what gives? Because how do his agent and how does his agent not look at all the comparisons that come out today and all the things that are flown over? Tua's the top, Trevor Lawrence, and all of them. I just don't know how, if you're his representation, you don't look at this and be like, hey, Trevor Lawrence in his career high threw 25 touchdowns and 8 interceptions, which were Tua's numbers last year with 4 less games than Trevor Lawrence had. Now, maybe you could look at that and you could put it in the knock category because Tua had concussion issues. Okay, we could do that, but you're still, like, you have to acknowledge, like, look what Tua was able to do in 4 fewer games, basically, other than yardage and TDs and rating, was able to match Trevor Lawrence in Trevor Lawrence's best year. Trevor Lawrence, by all accounts, took a step back last year, and Tua dwarfed him in every category last year. So how does this representation not go at the Dolphins and be like, the famous words of Tua, hey, the market is the market. The market is the market. This guy's getting $55 million a year. How does Tua's representation not go there and be like, yeah, we should top this. We should try and get past this. And the only thing that you could really say, like, if you're a real concern as a Dolphin, right? Head coaches, you have 2 great offensive coaches, Doug Peterson and Mike McDaniel. You know, maybe Mike McDaniel a little bit more new age, but Doug Peterson is a champion. So you have the coach QB relationship that seems pretty solid. And again, the only thing you could really go back to for Tua that would be a concern is you're going back to the concussion issues. And he proved it last year. You know, he was able to put that stuff in the rear view and not make that an issue. He played every single game. We saw last year, you look at Burrow and you look at Justin Herbert. You know, you look at a ton of QBs around the league. I mean, some of these things are freakish. You can't really go out there and necessarily protect your quarterback and think that everything's going to be okay. So you watch this offseason and you see that Jared Goff gets his money. A little bit of a different situation, I guess, because he's older. Lions are, you know, obviously in a honeymoon phase with how great things are right now, but he gets paid his big money. Everybody thinks that Tua is a better quarterback, other than Chris Sims, thinks that Tua is a better quarterback than Jared Goff. Trevor Lawrence, I think people think that he's better just based on looks, but he's not better. He's not better, and the Jaguars team, like, I don't know many people who are picking the Jaguars to win this year over the Texans because everybody's already replaced CJ Stroud as the guy. I do think there are people who will, like, look at the Dolphins and think, yeah, they could absolutely win the division this year. So I don't know, man. This is going to be a fascinating thing with how this all plays out with Tua's contract and what they're going to be willing to throw down to get these things done. But man, Trevor Lawrence getting that kind of money between Tua, Jordan Love, and I guess even Dak Prescott, even though, again, he's a little bit different because he's already gotten a big money deal. How do they all not look at this and be like, wait, he got that? And I like, what does he have on Uno? Hair? He doesn't even have that anymore. Tua passed him that in this offseason. Tua's got great hair. So I don't know where, I really don't know where this goes. And, for Trevor, listen, good for him getting his money. I know the Jags fans probably stoked about it, that's behind him. But, and maybe he will get better and improve. I mean, he's still a very young QB. This guy's got plenty of time to, he's only got, 3 years under his belt. Plenty of time for Trevor Lawrence to but like, this one's different to me than Joe Burrow because look, Joe Burrow made a Super Bowl. There's a difference between winning a Super Bowl and having a comeback win against the Chargers. It's a great win. It's a great comeback win, but it's not like he took out Mahomes like Joe Burrow did. It's not like he even went up against Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson. Like, you're going up young for young in a young QB duel. And what was a pretty mediocre Jaguars team anyway. I don't know, man. I'm still a skeptic, and I think you guys know I've been a skeptic on just the idea that it's already, the answer's already finished, that this guy, he doesn't get nearly the heat or the criticism or the question marks that Tua has all had to deal with, the adversity that Tua has had to deal with. And, you look at him and Tua's dazzled. Tua's put up better numbers. The only knock is the no playoff wins. If you want to put the durability there, okay, we'll put the durability there, but he did stay healthy for all of last season. So I do think that that's got to be one of those where you can put it in the categories when it comes to contracts, but I don't necessarily know if this has made things any easier for him. And Tua putting out there that, he's antsy, not disappointed, not pissed off, but antsy. Is he going to actually hold out when he gets to camp? I got a hard time believing he's going to do that to Mike McDaniel. So I don't necessarily know what Tua's leverage here is at this point, other than doing what he did, much like Christian Wilkins, which is you voice it, you make a bit of a stink. In camp, you won't do 11 on 11s. But then where does the cap off happen for him, his holdout, and where things stand? I don't really know. I don't know if Tua, after voicing his frustrations publicly, I don't necessarily know if he has another card to play, but there's no way that he and his agents look at what just happened with Trevor Lawrence and don't think to themselves, hey, come on. In the market is the market. There's no way they don't look at this and be like, you look at what the Jags gave to Trevor Lawrence and you're the Dolphins and be like, you guys think that he should get less than that? I don't know what the great argument for that is from the Dolphins' perspective.